you spoke about remember being like a child, and that made me think about the late great Dr. Robertson, because he always talks about the whole born again thing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, so for those who don't know, Dr. Robertson was the chair of the music department in most of my time as a music major, and I'm guessing all of your time studying music,
Yeah, all of it.
right? And so he came with this approach to playing the piano, like using weight, which was totally foreign to me. Totally
And
foreign. My father taught me to play piano, right? And it's like everything that Robertson is saying, he taught me the exact opposite. So he told me that my fingers have to be curved, they have to be firm. It was pretty much like, so when Robertson came, it was like night and day from what I've been doing my whole life. And this is when I'm now, what, 23, 24, and I've been playing music my whole life, right? And he'd always drive it home, the Nicodemus story. You have to be born again. You have to just disabuse your mind of those things that you were taught. I never fully got the weight thing. I think I I play more freely now, but I definitely don't know what he was recommended. How was he teaching you piano? What was your experience learning piano from Dr. Robertson?
um, it was similar, but not as bad, because I didn't have any training before. But I used to play a certain way, so it was just for me to I guess override that, override the bad habits. And like you, I still don't think I don't think anybody ever really get that. I don't think anybody ever really get it. I still feel like sometimes I will still feel like my hands tensing up if I really pay attention.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it it was pretty similar. I think I had to unlearn a lot of stuff. I had to unlearn a lot of stuff. There was something I used to do. I used to like do this and lift my shoulders when I play and a lot of stuff. So it was similar. It was similar. It's funny. There was something I wanted to ask you. You mentioned Dr. Robertson and the whole thing. Tell me about. Let me see if I can find a specific question. Tell me about like that whole experience for you studying music under him.
All right. So let me tell you what messed me up. Right.
Mhm.
All right. So this is my experience. So my first 2 years as a music student, we had a different chair. Right. I'm not gonna call the chair's name, but let's just say let's just say you said that sixth form was more difficult than university. My first 2 years as a music student was super easy, like super easy. Like, for
Tell me,
example, we have a thing, we have sight singing, right? For sight singing, what we would do is there's this website called musictheorynet.com, some music theory something.
theory.net.
All right. So it has some exercises. And what we would do for the class is we would, in our own time, do the exercises, grade ourselves. Yeah. Write down the grade, mark the grade, hand it in to the chair. And because she taught the class, he or she, she, she,
That's fun.
she taught the class, right? So we hand in the grade that we gave ourselves after doing the exercise. You hand it in. So nobody now waste no time on doing that. So we just, if it's all at 25, we make it realistic at 23, at 24. Then one time we might say we have a little off there, we give a 19. And then so we just vary it. So it was so it was the standard was way below anything reputable, right? And this is my only university experience. So I'm like, all right, this is what studying music is. All right, cool.
It's there. It's a nice life.
Right. All right. Now in my third year, that chair leaves, Robertson comes. Now again, night and day, because Robertson is like the standard is the standard, and the standard is the bare minimum. You need to up here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So now it's just one flip, and then so as you know, the courses you'll have like theory 1, theory 2, 3, 4, right? So I've already done theory 1 and 2. I've done theory 1 and 2. So now I'm in theory 3 with Robertson. He's teaching me theory 3. I'm supposed to know what I'm supposed to know in theory 1 and theory 2, right? So I'm there, done as but don't know anything, right? And he's saying, yo, you're supposed to know this. And he's not wasting time. He's
Mr. Honeyghan, what have you been doing on?
that's page 12. Like, and he knows the book hand like the back of his hand. He knows what topic is on what page and whatever. So it was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle for me and everybody else that was in the class. It was a struggle catching up. We now have to learn what we should have been learning in theory 1 and 2, and dealing with all of our assignments and everything in theory 3. It was definitely a struggle. Everybody in my class failed theory 3 except me. Fortunately, by the grace of God, I made it through, but everybody else failed in the class. And that's when a lot of the music majors started shipping out and went to Edna and say, yo, them not do this, whatever. So it was definitely a struggle doing that. But it was the best thing for me, because if that didn't happen, then I would have graduated and don't know a single thing.
Yeah, so, done.
Degree and no knowledge. So it was difficult. And then what happened was there were some courses that I failed because it was definitely a struggle. And then by like my 4th year now, I'm in this tug of war where a part of me wants to get all of the knowledge and learn, but the next part of me just want done school, right? Because I've been here for a while, so I know that there's some things that I'm not where I should be. But Jano, been here for a while, like.
So just let it go, man.
I was so I done school, and then the last thing. So with me and Dr. Robertson, we would knock heads a lot, because this is the type of person I am, right? You spoke about faith. This is how I am with teachers, right? If you tell me that the sky is red, right? I see it as blue. You need to explain to me why it's red. I'm not just gonna say, okay, it's red because you're the expert and you know, because that just means I'm echoing what you said, but I don't truly understand, right? And so I used to question a lot of what is being said to me because I just didn't see it, I didn't get it. And other persons in the class, it seemed, were just digest it because it's being said. But for me, I don't know if it's because I play a lot. So if you play, you have an experience with theory and a lot of things. So I guess I saw things a certain way, and it just seemed to be always a problem. We butt heads a lot. But
when did these questions come up? Like theory 4, those?
Yeah, so theory 3 was just everybody just sinking and trying to survive. I think yeah, I think theory 4 was where at least we're kind of getting in the groove of actually working and that kind of thing. And it wasn't just like theory things, it was also life things, and not just life things, but music things, but outside of class, like just philosophically music and or whether background music is a thing, or whether student-led choirs, should participate. Those kind of just life things. and philosophy of music and worship and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we'd clash a lot. But as I said, I'm definitely grateful that he came into my university experience. He was teaching me piano and then he kicked me out of his class. I think because of the same thing. Also because of me, because I was. Let me tell you what also challenged me as a music student. So you told me that you came into the university and you wanted to prove yourself, right? I always wanted to prove myself as well. But here's the thing. When I spend time with, like, say, Shahaya and preparing that, whether Shahaya or Surrender or whatever, when they perform, that's the audience is the entire school, right? When I prepare for my classes and whatever, the audience is my teacher. So for me, I didn't have the discipline to be like, yo, even though it's an audience of one, this is priority. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna spend this time preparing for what the whole school is gonna see. So my schoolwork definitely suffered as a result of that. So yeah, it was a challenge. But as I said, I'm definitely grateful because he definitely taught me a lot. Even the things that we disagreed on, it made me more convicted of my position because I have such an intelligent mind that I'm debating these things with.
So it's like,
Yeah, so I'm definitely grateful for that. And there are things that stick with me today that I got from him. So yeah, man, I'm definitely grateful for that man's input in my education and just my development as a musician.
okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
Follow-up question. I think most music majors are aware of the experience of leaving the music program. Can you just talk about that a bit? How was that for you?
When I say leaving, you mean like when I graduating?
Yeah, like finishing, being done, because I don't think anybody had ever finished in the time that they were supposed to.
So
Well, all right, let me be more specific. What did you have to do to leave? If you and you don't have to go into too much detail because there are some things that I had to do that. But yeah.
all right. So for me, I'm trying to remember if this was like a non-disclosure type thing. Because I had to do something, but I don't remember if it was something that I had to keep hush hush or if it's something that I could share. I don't think, All right,
I mean,
I'll share.
if you can say.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember if there was at any point where they said, yo, don't really tell nobody. But what happened was,
let me tell you why though, because this is something that is very recent for me. So, and I don't want it to happen to other people.
Right.
So.
All right. So for me, I spent 6.5 years at college. As I said, a lot of it would have been because of the fact that my first 2 years was pretty much garbage.
Right.
And so in a sense, it's kind of 4.5 years, but it's 6.5 years in all. The challenge with the music, and again, a lot of the things Dr. Robertson did, he did right. But it's just when he comes in the middle of your studies, it messes you up. Because as you know, there's some courses where if you don't do it this semester, it now got off again for years, right? So that kind of thing went on. Now, as it relates to leaving, I didn't know that I was graduating until the week of graduation. Yes.
Oh.
All right. So I had to. There's so much happening, but I had to meet with the registrar and my dean and the VP of academics. I had to listen.
Same.
It was a war. I had to fight and argue and claw and scratch and meet and sign and plant and because he wasn't budging, like, yo, this is the bulletin, this is what the bulletin says. And even if there's it for me, like a special circumstance in my opinion, and also the opinion of everybody that I'm talking to, they agree with me, but they're saying he's the chair. So I mean, it is what it is. And so it was that. And at the end of the day, what happened was I was able, I'm trying to remember why. I think the senior recital was the main issue. The senior recital was the main issue. There would have been other things, but the senior recital wasn't done in time, I believe. And then when I did it, it wasn't good, right? There's something before the senior recital. Because the senior recital isn't actually graded, but there's something that you do, a pre-recital, I believe, pre-recital, which is graded. And then if you do well enough in that, then you're able to do the senior recital.
Yeah.
So I'm busy with Shahaya and Surrender and playing for chapels and doing all these things and my poetry and whatever, and giving my recital the bare minimum. You know, I can get through with all the notes. There are no mistakes, so I'm good. And they're like, no, you're not playing. They're pieces from each period of time, and I'm not being true to the Baroque period, the classical period, the Romantic. I'm not being true to that. And so they said, yo, it's not ready. And what I had to do was I graduated, but I didn't get my degree until I did the pre-recital. They made me do the pre-recital after my graduation. And I had to agree, like I had to sign something where I'd have to practice every day and I'd have to log in amount of hours. I have to have a sheet where I log in the hours that I practice and hand it in to the secretary at the music department. And so all those days afterwards, up until the pre-recital, I had to be there and practicing and preparing the stuff. So I graduated. I didn't get my degree until maybe like May of the following year, because graduation was in August. I did the pre-recital the following February. It's supposed to be earlier, but I kept getting pushed back. I did it the February, and then my degree was ready like a couple months later. So yeah, as I said, the week of graduation is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Sunday before, I didn't know if I was graduating or not. It's sometime in the week they're like, all right, yeah, we'll allow you to march. So yeah.
Oh, because I was gonna ask, like, how did he not know? But you just say, okay. So you had, okay. All right, that's what.
Yeah, trust me, the music department, it's definitely has its challenges that need for.
Yeah, it needs some work, man.
Yeah. So you graduate and you go to Chester. I think this will be the last. It's the last thing that I know about. Well, actually, two things: Evans and Chester. Before I talk about Chester, Evans, real quick, like whose idea was that, and what was that like?
All right, so Evans. All right. Shady again, a bit foggy again, but from what I remember, all right, let me give you the full story. So Winston, I don't know why or I don't know how. I just remember Winston being on dorm. Not all right. I remember now. You remember a period when Bevan and me and you like were discussing some musicians union on campus, something like that?
I don't remember that.
I remember when I did come to you one time and I was like, yo, Dale, we not to play for nobody unless them pay you, you know. I remember that like that.
I remember having those conversations a lot with a lot of persons, but I don't remember this specifically. But yeah, I don't remember this.
All right, but yeah, it was around that time. Like, I remember, like, what do you want to do something? I remember, but I just remember Winston was there, and I don't know how, but
Yeah. So we spoke about it because we were saying, yo, if I'm charging, then I just go to you, or if you're charging, then I just go to the next person. So we met up, we say, yo, none of we now play unless Tay.
I just get a call a while ago, say it cut out.
What I was saying was, I remember now, it was like, I was saying, yo, if I'm charging, then I just say, all right, let me just ask Oren, or if you're charging, then I just ask. So
Ah,
we said we're gonna meet up and make sure say all the way I will
have
charge
it.
so that them know say, all right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, man. So it was around that time. I don't remember the year again. It was
Uh-huh.
around that time. I think it was maybe 2015, 2016. Can't remember the year, but around that time,
Mm-hmm.
Winston was on dorm. And for some reason that I don't remember right now, he made me hear I pledge my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill, like when I heard it, I was like, I think I probably asked him about 10 times. I said, Winston, are you do this?
Vincent is crazy.
Winston,
Crazy.
yo, trust me, man. I couldn't stop asking. I said, Winston, you sure are you there? Come just couldn't believe. Like, all right, let me tell you how we used to know Winston. So, like, we used to play for chapel and thing, right? So, sometimes we used to play, and like, you just see Winston, I look for him and I smile and nod him head. So, the thing say, it's just like an admirer, somebody who like good music or so.
Right.
Then me used to like start seeing do some the multi-track things
Mm-hmm.
where I must sing some take six songs, like some complicated things.
Mm-hmm.
And then me realize I say, say that you like something else I go on. Boy, people figure out six different parts. Like me never ever used to do them things, isn't it? So that's when me realize say when me there play and him a look for me, him they actually understand what me I do.
Right.
Maybe play them, but him they understand. So from
Yeah.
that, I know say me they have great things. But I never know say Winston was an all out arrange a right part right no. And Winston make me start use music score,
Yeah.
I never used to write music
Right.
before.
Right.
Just play parts. I used to
Right.
I think you do that too. Well,
Yeah.
you did say the write out, like you write out like A, B. But as pianists, we're not gonna write out parts. We're just gonna play the parts
Right.
and then probably record them and see if it makes sense or so. But yeah, man, when we hear I pledge, man, I was like, no, Winston, I know you do this, man. I know this. And I said, Winston, you're sure? So after I believe now, I say, all right. So I say, Winston, we have to we have to do this. I say, we have to do this. We care what? We have to find six guys and do this and record this. Or perform something. This
Mm-hmm.
can't stay. This can't stay on your laptop.
Right.
This have to go out in other world. So that was really um the the initiation or the birth of events. It was really, well, in my memory, it was really to the I pledge. But we ended up doing a lot of things before we did I pledge. We used to sing six songs. Winston had other transcriptions and so. So the idea came up and then it was like we found some guys, um, told Brendan, Craig, the original members were Brendan, Craig, Jehu, Aaron, myself, and Winston. So that was the original group. Went through some revisions. Jehu did drop out, and then Justin did come in, Justin from Humble, and then Aaron and Justin drop out, and Gio and Najee come in. So that's the group now. So yeah, man. That's how everything started. You know, that's really how it started.
What does the name mean?
Events. I always mispronounce the word, and then when somebody asks me what it means, I pronounce it properly. So events means to clearly show something, to clearly show. And we want, so what we use it to mean is we want to evince Christ. We want to clearly show Christ.
Wow. 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 I spoke about events in episode 1, how events just have so there are 2 times when events really impacted me personally. I spoke about the I Pledge. When you guys released I Pledge, you released it on Emancipation Day 2017. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, it wasn't even like everything y'all do is dope from an arrangement standpoint. But it's just the idea to be intentional on Emancipation Day to release that. I was like, yo, this is the kind of thing I want to do. And then that week I worked on the video for Love with an Older Woman. And yeah, so I worked on because I saw that from y'all, and then I released it on Independence Day that year. And then when you guys did your AY at Vanderbilt Church, that's what led to the meltdown. And again, for anybody who wants to hear about the meltdown, check out episode 1 with the great Leslie. But yeah, y'all have been doing some really dope stuff. I haven't heard any group in Jamaica that does like what you guys do in terms of harmonies and the sound and that kind of thing. So yeah, man, y'all are. Craig had a group, Straight Hope, I believe is called, and they did something similar, but it wasn't this. It wasn't.
Yeah,
this.
yeah, and he'll say that too. He'll tell you that. He was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, it was like, and I didn't know the origin of the group, so I thought he had something to do with the origin. So it felt like from an outsider looking in, like Straight Hope was like the stepping stone that allowed him to be kind of doing this kind of thing. But now I'm hearing how the group actually started. But yeah, y'all doing your thing. Is the group still functional?
Yeah, we still are very much so.
Cool.
I'm
Just
working
making
on
sure, because with this Corona thing, you never know what's still running and what's yeah.
True.
All right. Lastly, Manchester High. So you graduate. So all right. So for me, because for those who don't know, I was a music teacher and the choir director at Manchester High before Oren. Now this isn't like Shahaya where you just pass it on to somebody. This you have a principal, you have a board. This is official government business. So I don't think you know this, or why I left. So I was at Manchester High, and my first day, like new student orientation, I was so overjoyed to be there teaching, because that's my high school. That's where I attended. And to be back there as a music teacher, and I know there's a long line of great music teachers. So to be the next one, like I was super excited. Yeah. And I enjoy being in the classroom. I enjoy the choir more than anything, directing the choir. But you see them lesson plans and marking the papers. That was such a headache for me. And then I could deal with that. But what I found for me personally is the job of teaching took up so much time that I wasn't able to like pursue the things I really wanted to pursue. Right. So I just found it really time consuming. But I was like, all right, no problem. I knew that this isn't something I want to do for a very long time, but I was working with it. 2018, I released my book, Wet Lips, right? And I went to New York that summer, selling it to persons here in New York and thing. I linked up with an old friend. Her name was Christina. She used to go to Manchester High when I was there. She was a few years below me. and she linked me up on IG and said she wants a copy of the book, right? I haven't seen her in years because she was living in New York. I remember the day I met up with her. It was a Thursday evening. I met up with her in a Dunkin' Donuts. We met up, caught up because we haven't seen each other in a while. Sold her the book. She took pictures with it, all of that. And I decided that day, I want to do my art full time. Like this is what I want to do in my life.
This is it for me.
This is it for me. That evening, I sent my principal an email telling him, I'm gonna resign and I come back. It was it came it came as a shock because it was really sudden. It's really
Yeah,
sudden.
It was
extremely sudden. But I couldn't go back. All right. I couldn't go back into the classroom. I couldn't, like, it's like, I have to just do this full time. But I decided, you know what, since it's sudden, I'm gonna come back this September. So I was with them the first month in September, and then I think by the October, you came on board. So what was Manchester High like for you?
I remember you said it was sudden. I remember that it was sudden because the principal, he called me and he was like, Mr. Thomas, like him say, he was like, when can you start? I was like, and at that time, my family were overseas. So I was like, well, sir, I'm not coming back until like October, so, so he was like, all right. So yeah, man, it was sudden for you. Like I never did expect that at all. Because I knew that you did I knew that you love music. I knew that you teach choirs before and stuff. So and from Shahai and everything. So I thought that, as you say, you would have loved it. So when I heard that you were leaving, I was like, and then and the time that I heard that you were leaving, I was like, So it really happened fast for you. But so I came back there, that was 2018. Yeah, I started 2018. I came back to 2018 and went right into it. Went right into Altogether Sing. Cause the thing we realize, you see when you go to a new place, you always want to prove.
Yeah.
And it was after all of these things. It's like looking back is like I realized. Because I was like, why am I really enter Altogether Sing? Why am I really enter? Because when I think about it, I say, whenever they have to enter now, because he actually asked me, he was like, so Mr. Thomas, you're entering Altogether Sing? And I was like, wait, I have a choice? Because I thought the school was just like, yo, entering Altogether Sing. I didn't think that he would ask me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yes. I was like, okay. No, but I could have said no, like it was completely my decision,
Uh-huh.
So which I didn't expect that at all, but you want something to prove. So enter Altogether Sing. It was fun, that was fun. Do some JCDC the next term after that. So Christmas was Altogether Sing, next term was JCDC.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, after I saw how hectic Altogether Sing was, I was like, all right, let's just ease it back a little bit. Let's just, kind of relax and, work on my lesson plans. God, if me do 5 lesson plans, me don't know.
I believe you.
But let me tell you though, the teachers were HOD and all the teachers, they were very understanding. Because I think they saw that I was working really hard with Altogether Sing and with everything else, like even after that, like performances outside of school, cause the choir, cause I get calls and things. JCDC, so they were just like, all right, him new, him young, radical. I'm glad for that, trust me, because if I was to go based on like my contract or whatever, like based on how many lesson plans you're supposed to do, I don't know if that's a thing, but I get fired a long time. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good so far. Still good. Still good now. It's really good now.
Really good. No, you like it. You like the online thing.
What?
And
What?
I don't think I like it at all.
Ask any teacher. Now. Really?
I don't think I would. I think I would hate it.
No, but they look on this, right? You know, have to go in, just get up. Just get up. If you turn on the camera, you wash your face, you put on a shirt. You just teach your lesson and then you go back asleep.
I get
Just
that. But for me, I like the interaction. I like the in-person interaction. For me, so
I mean, you still get that though, You still, let me tell you, I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it. For real. I know what you're saying. I did miss, and I still do miss it to a certain degree. But I guess it kind of adjusts. You see, like March. You see, like March. When was it? Last year, March.
last year.
We did lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. I sent a message in the choir, like, see y'all in a couple of weeks, or when it's picking up. And then April, now May, I said things now go up. And I say, whoa. And like something this start happen, like me, I say, I start feel like I miss the kids, and I'm like, is it me? Like, I actually miss them. I was like, gosh, I actually miss them. So yeah, man, I miss it real, man. There's nothing like, I'll always say this, there's nothing like physical, like face to face, like a live thing. Even like a recording here, like a video call, it's just as effective. Or a recording, a live performance is always better than a recording. There's just something about physical interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I say, we adjust, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I love it, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it. There's one thing that I kind of sorry for is that you see, if 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 Jamaica was handling it better, then I think I would be more like for it. Because even though I love it, I'm for school physically reopening because a lot of a lot of people are just disadvantaged right now because Jamaica doesn't have the infrastructure to support